In today's video, we're going to do our monthly budget forecast for the month of April. Stay tuned. Hello, budget friends. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. Welcome or welcome back to Budgeting Over 40. I'm Melissa, and we're going to jump right in and talk about what we're expecting or what we're forecasting for the coming month. So, April is right around the corner. If you have not gotten your monthly budget started or you haven't, started thinking about what's going to happen within the next month, please go ahead and get your pens and paper out, jump onto your spreadsheet or your budgeting app that you do use and go ahead and budget alongside with me or just listening if that's what you're doing. So, in the month of April, I am expecting two paychecks for myself. Hubby's income is kind of still up in the air, so we're going to just roll with it as it comes in. But we are also going to use my last paycheck from the month of March to budget as technically the first paycheck for April. So for the rollover, I'm planning to do just that paycheck that I mentioned of $2,377. That's what I'm expecting to get on that paycheck. It should be coming in the next 2 days because today is Wednesday, March 26th. The payday is on the 28th, but I may get it early. We will see. So there's a lot of things that's going to be changing as far as income is concerned. I did speak with the accountant after going through our taxes, and I was advised to change the withholding that is coming out of my W 2 income. So I did go ahead and do that. I don't know if it's going to be effective this paycheck that's coming up. I don't know if I made the cutoff, but if not, it's going to hit our next paycheck, which is the first paycheck in the month of April. You guys will see that when I come in to do my paycheck budget allocations in YNAB when we actually receive the physical money in the account. So in April, I'm expecting to bring in $6,129 for my income. This is going to consist of two paychecks, and I'm just still using what I was getting before, which is the $2,377. And then the SSI benefits is lumped into this amount. And also for hubby, I am bumping up to $3,000 per month for him because he has been consistent with doing $1,500 per pay period for himself. It may not come on time, but it does come in to be about $3,000. Hopefully, we could do a little bit more depending on how the clients are paying out. That's how he go ahead and pay himself. So we're just going to work with $3,000 right now in miscellaneous and transfers. I'm not expecting to do anything. So the total income that I'm expecting to work with in the month of April, this is our bottom line, is $11,506. So let's now move down into the fixed bills. The fixed expenses consist of everything that has a due date or everything that I know is going to happen every month. And I'm either going to be charged a late fee or I'm going to be evicted. So these are the bills excluding debt. I do have a separate debt section down here that we're going to discuss next. But fixed bills are everything that I am expecting to do as far as a bill with a due date. So our rent is $2,500. That's due on the first. Electric is 107. HB Inc. I am bumping it up to 8. I did go ahead and change the plan. It should be effective, I think, April 5th. I should have changed it to be effective in March, but I didn't really want them to charge me anything. So in the month of April, I think it's going to round about to be about $8 for the plan because I find myself printing consistently over the amount of pages that's allowed in the plan per month. For Peloton, I am really thinking about pausing this subscription again because myself, I wanted to say my lazy self, but I have not been working out consistently and it's few and far in between. And it's kind of ridiculous to be paying $44 for a subscription that I'm not actively using as I should. So we'll see. If I go ahead and pause this, you guys will see that in April. But it's usually $44 for the month. So I'm putting it in the budget just to play it safe. Google Cloud is $3 per month. The car insurance is going to come in at $243 for the month of April. Now, as you can see, renter's insurance and braces, those are the two that's up next. I have struck those out because renter's insurance, we're paid up until September of 2025 again. So I do pay for 4 months, which is every other month, and then I have a break till September. So I'm budgeting zero for this. Braces, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I paid my last braces payment or installment in the month of February. We are due to go to the orthodontist for my son on Friday, which is on the 28th, and we will then discuss what we're going to do about phase two. Hopefully, I can hold off on that for a little while just so I'm not, paying out a monthly bill for the braces. But there is a phase two because he did only do the top braces, and I think he will need the bottom braces, but I don't know if they're going to do it right now. So let's budget zero for this. iCloud storage, I'm doing 10. SiriusXM is 8. Our cell phone, I'm budgeting $250. Hopefully it comes in less. Internet, I'm budgeting 89. Amazon Prime is 17. Child support is 526 for the month. And after school, so my little one is actively in the program. They have not given me a bill, but I have been making payments. So I am going to put $160 for both children. It is $20 per week for both of them each. So I'm expecting April to have a total of 4 weeks. So that's $80 per child for the month of April. So that's a total of $3,965 in fixed bills. And out of the $11,000 that we're forecasting, I'm now left with $7,541 even. So let's talk about debt. Now, in the debt section, I have everything listed here: credit cards, my student loan, personal loans, and the auto loan. And then there's a section for or snowball or any extra debt payments that I'm able to make. Now, some things are changing in the month of April as far as debt. I will discuss what's happening with that because everything has not, all the puzzle pieces has not fallen into place just yet. So just stick around for my debt update at the end of this month to give you guys an overview or a gist of what's going to be happening with the credit cards. So as of right now, I'm going to budget $218 for minimum payments. We are only paying minimum payments on 3 cards. That is Mattress Firm, my Capital One number 2 card, and my Apple card. For student loans, it's $40. For auto loan, it's $940. For personal loan, it's $1,690. And the snowball payment is going to be the payment that I was making to my Chase credit card of $46. That's what I'm expecting to continue to do. Once I pay off a debt, I want to roll the next payment into the current debt that I'm working on. I'm hoping I can continue to do that. I did that in the month of March. So we're hoping to keep that, trend going so we can pay off these debts a little bit faster. For debts for the month of April, we do have to pay $2,934 in minimum payments. And out of what was left, we have $4,675 left to budget. Now let's move over into savings. My cars category group, $22 family, $152 home, $100. And for subscriptions, I only need $26. So that's a $300 budget for savings for the month of April. Now let's move down into variable. We are left with $4,307 to figure out down here. So in car fuel, I'm budgeting $250. For dining out, I'm going to do 100. Given is 10. Groceries and consumables. So I'm bumping this up to $1,200 for the month of April. That's a safe number. We'll see how we do with this number in the month of April. For my babies, I'm budgeting 60. For personal, I'm budgeting 100, and for wellness, it is $50. So that's a total of $1,770, and this is going to leave us with $2,537 that we're going to go down into miscellaneous. I'm just going to throw this remainder into the rollover to go into the month of May. I may take money out of it as needed for the things that are listed in miscellaneous, or if we end up going over budget in any of the other areas that we do have. Heating oil, we're not needing it as much as we did when it was super cold outside. So $2,537 is in the rollover, and that brings us to a zero based budget. But what I want to do now is jump over into the next spreadsheet, and on that spreadsheet is where I break down what I expect to happen within each pay period. So I'm just going to jump over to the next sheet, and I have separated it out to quarter two. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right. So first time we are getting paid, or my first paycheck from my full-time job in the month of April, is on the 11th. So I'm doing that first budget from the first of the month until the 10th. And then the second pay period, I'm technically getting paid on the 25th of April, but I am going to run this second pay period all the way to the end of the month. So let's go. So for the rollover, as mentioned before, $2,377. The main income that I'm expecting within the first pay period is just the SSI benefits for $1,375. I won't be getting paid until the 11th. So there's no paycheck for me. And I don't know if I really should budget anything for hubby. I probably should, right? I probably should. You know what? I'm going to add that in here. I'm going to do $1,500 from hubby and add it to the main income. So that's going to bring us to $5,252 because I'm not going to do anything for miscellaneous and nothing for transfers. Anything that comes in within this pay period, I will go ahead and add it into the actual. So let's move over now to the second pay period. I don't expect to roll anything over from the first. And for main income in the second pay period is going to be my paycheck for $2,377 plus hubby's paycheck for $1,500. No miscellaneous, no transfers. So that's a total of $3,877 even, but that only brings us to a total of $9,129. Why? Because I need to go ahead and add in the second paycheck that I'm expecting on the 25th for $2,377. And I'm adding it here because I'm extending this second pay period all the way to the end of the month. What's going to be left over is going to be the rollover that I did discuss on the monthly budget spreadsheet. That's $11,506. That's the monthly budget amount of income that was forecast on the monthly budget spreadsheet. I hope you're following. Now, remember for the dates, it's from the 1st to the 10th and then the 11th to the 30th. Nothing in the month of May. So our rent is $2,500. I'm not expecting to do anything in the second pay period. Electric is 107. And let's just go down for the ones that are due early on in the month. HP Inc. for 8. Peloton is on the 8th for 44. And then we'll stop there because Google Cloud is due on the 12th. So now we can move over to the second pay period and do $3 for the Google Cloud, $243 for insurance, nothing for renter's insurance, nothing for braces, iCloud storage for 10, SiriusXM for 8, cell phone for $250, internet for $89, Amazon Prime for $17. And as you can see, these are listed by due dates. So I'm just going down and covering them by the due date and what paycheck they fall within. Okay, the last two on the bottom is after school and child support, and I do want to split these in half. So half in the first part of the month and half in the second. So that's $80 per paycheck for the after school and $263 per paycheck for child support. Now we're just going to go in and enter placeholders of zeros just so I know that I did go over them. All right. So in the first pay period, we're expecting to do $3,002 for fixed bills, and in the second, $963. And now let's move down to the debt section. Now, when it comes to debt, everything is due after the first pay period. So all of my credit cards, I don't have any minimum payments that are due between the 1st and the 10th of the month. So we're going to put 0 here, and we're going to put the $218 in the second pay period. Student loan is due on the 1st. We have to put it in the 1st. Auto loan is $940. This is due on the 25th. So let's go ahead and just fill these in. The student loan is due 1st. Auto loan is the 25th. Personal loans, they're both due on the 30th. Put $1,690 for the personal loans there and $940 for the auto loan in the second pay period. We may come back and revise these, but we're just going to go ahead and do that now, and $46 for the extra debt. So we will come back and revisit the debt section in just 1 minute. We're just going to jump down into savings, and we're going to split them equally. Let's do $11 each pay period. Let's do $70 here. And what is that going to be? Let's do the 152 minus 70. I don't know. I can't do math today. That's going to leave us with $82 for the second pay period, $50 each pay period for home. And we're going to do $13 for subscriptions each pay period. So that's a total of $144 in the first and $156 in the second. Now let's move down into the variable expenses. We're going to split the gas in two. And we're going to see if we could do these down the middle as well. $50 for dining out, $5 each pay period for giving, $600 each pay period for groceries and consumables, $30 each pay period for my babies, $50 each pay period for personal, and $25 each pay period for wellness. So now that's $885 even for our variable expenses. So as you can see here, now we're left with $1,181 in the first pay period, and then we're left with $1,356 in the second. That's going to total the $2,537 that we need to have as a leftover to roll over into the month of May. So now what we can do is revisit the debt section, because some of my debts can be paid within the first pay period just to get it out of the way. So for personal loan, I'm going to put personal loan number 1 in the first pay period. That means we could take it out of the second. And then we could quite possibly do the full credit card payments in the first and not in the second. So we're left with $333 for a leftover of the first pay period, and we still have $2,204 in the second. So let's go ahead and move the snowball payment over into the first pay period. Okay, we're cooking. So what we can do as well, let's go ahead and, well, I was going to say pay the car insurance, but the car insurance is an automatic payment. I can go ahead and pay it early, but let's see. This is ending on the 10th. It is due on the 13th. So technically, I could put it on the first pay period to be taken care of, and it leaves us with $44. What else can I do here? I think the only thing that we could move around is the savings. So let's put 22 for cars, and let's do 26 for subscriptions. That leaves us with $20. So that means we can do $90 here for family, and we're going to need 62. Oh, it adjusted because I did do a formula here. So that brings us down to 0 left to budget in the first pay period, and then you can see that there is $2,537 left in the second pay period, and that's the amount that we're leaving to roll over into the month of May. So as you can see, we have budgeted all of the money or forecasted all of the money. So you guys, if you have not started your monthly budget for the month of April, go ahead and get started. You still have some time, and just set yourself up for success by having a plan. So this is how it starts. You have to have a plan, and then while the month is on the move, then you can go ahead and pivot in different areas that requires it. So thank you so much for taking the time out to watch my video. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I would love for you to follow along with my journey. So again, my name is Melissa, and this is the monthly budget for April. Thank you for watching.